This investigation highlights the harsh reality that there are still adversaries intent on conducting terrorist attacks on American soil. She once wrote, quote, "Praise be Allah for September 11th. Also in the court documents, she told the source that she went from a little girl waving the American flag after 9/11 to now having stickers of the fallen towers. Folks, let that sink in.
Federal agents say they have foiled an ISIS-inspired terror plot targeting New York State Capitol in Albany. 35-year-old Jessica Bowie is accused of planning to bomb the Capitol building and kill lawmakers with hopes of executing more attacks throughout the country. Investigators say Bowie was caught on camera at a Home Depot wearing a burqa and buying supplies to carry out her plot. She allegedly planned to disguise the bomb as a DoorDash delivery. Social media posts now show Bowie praising Allah for 9/11, threatening to poison infidels, and saying blowing the brains of non-Muslims out is beautiful. FBI agents say this was just the beginning of her plans and that her sights were set on bigger targets.
Miss Bowie didn't just want to kill lawmakers. She wanted a complete disruption of our government. And after that, she planned to flee the country and one day come back to, quote, do more, such as New Year's Eve in Times Square, even stating she would come back to attack the White House and the president, but only after she bombed the state capitol.
The devil walks the planet. Jason.
Yeah, no, a good job, FBI. That's the FBI we signed up for. That's the FBI I want to see more of. This case begs a lot of questions. How did she get radicalized? Who else was she communicating? How did the FBI get on the radar screen? I mean, I have a hard time believing this is the end of the arrests. My guess is that probe goes a lot further, and they have to be very disciplined following somebody like this who is making an allegation but then going into motion. They got to be able to get the evidence, like going and buying, you know, all the weaponry, in this case the nails and that sort of thing. But the threat is real. And this is what we need the FBI for.
Just
so good job.
Quickly, just tapping into all of your years in leadership in the U.S. Congress on Oversight Committee and other committees where you're given this information. Our threat level now, we're at war in the Middle East with Iran, but our threat level is what it is because people hate.
They do hate, and it is pervasive, and law enforcement is overwhelmed with the number of cases. What's real? What's not real? What is just, you know, an exercise of the First Amendment? But when you put it into action, that's when you need the FBI and the marshals. I mean, all different law enforcement. And we're operating without FISA, which is a whole nother issue. But in this particular case, being what is going on here in domestically, this is the FBI doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Amazing. Donna.
I mean, I look at this and I think we're all told if you see something, say something, and people have been saying something and no one was listening. I mean, we have been talking about the radicalization of people since 9/11, and I can't believe living in a post-9/11 world, and anyone who lived through it, that we're still dealing with this. And I don't know what we need to do to make it clear that death to America is a real thing. And we continue to talk about tolerance, but at the end of the day, we have to preserve and protect our country, our people. And the fact that you have one person like this is enough. And to Jason's point, there is going to be a group of people that she was working with that helped radicalize her. But the basis of this religion, this is not a religion of peace. When your religion is telling you that it's okay to kill people who don't believe what you believe, this is what we're left with. And what happens? They continue to multiply, right? The ideology continues to multiply. And when they're having children 5 times faster than the rate of Americans, this problem just continues to get bigger.
Emily.
What strikes me about this, I think, is, you know, as we perhaps look at this case and maybe feel some type of surprise, I don't know. The reality is that the proliferation of online radicalization is so paramount. It is such a virus. It is an epidemic, and it is their goal. So all of these jihadists, their goal is to online radicalize mostly children and teens, mostly young men, and they are succeeding at also dragging in a ton of women, a ton of people whose maybe socioeconomic or demographics don't seem like the right fit. But this is very real, and this is why all of the tools at our disposal are so crucial, especially the ones that we don't have anymore, to try to cast that net. And people argue about privacy, and they argue about the freedom of speech on the internet. The reality is that the internet is a toxic, malignant tumor that foments things like this all the time and foments other things that we talk about on this couch as it relates to our children and the like. So, guys, the source of this is something that your kids have exposure to and your relatives and your neighbors. And if your neighbor maybe looks like that and is walking down to 7-Eleven with her big gulp, you have no idea if she has a burqa in the closet and she is radicalized about this. It is frightening.
Can I just a quick follow-up with you, because you were talking about things, I think you're talking about FISA, which is what Jason mentioned, the things that we technically don't have in our toolkit right now. But this idea of private life versus what it takes to protect us as Americans, where are we going with that? Because we have to have these conversations.
And legally, so we talk, all right, so if you see something, say something, we think to ourselves, gosh, this person's on the radar, like now she could have succeeded. But the reality is that law enforcement is then monitoring these people after someone says something. And then when they take the overt action, then that becomes a fulfilled element of a charge or a crime that they can then charge. So I think, unfortunately, as a society, it feels a little helpless and perhaps, not active enough to wait and see. But we have to trust that the good men and women of law enforcement are monitoring accurately and adequately, so that the instant there's an overt action to try to proliferate something like this, they can go in and nab. But to that point, it only works if we have resources and support from bureaucrats and not a bunch of candidates that say defund the police and do away with them all. I mean,
even scarier here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right. I thought see something, say something too. Look, it's certainly not a crime to linger and visit the New York State Capitol and take photos, but that's what this woman was doing. Now, when you combine that data point with a lot of other data points and follow her, and then you get to the point where she thinks she's obtained an explosive, that's when you can go in and make a difference from a law enforcement perspective. But to piggyback on your point, Kash Patel and the FBI, what an extraordinary job they have done. There have been, when you look at terror plots, it's clear the threat from Islamic terrorism is not over, 25 years nearly after 9/11, which is very scary. But terror plots overall, so not saying one ideology, there were 640 planned terror attacks that were disrupted by the FBI last year alone. That is extraordinary work. It's scary, but extraordinary that they are on it, especially at a time when you saw terror attacks kind of waver a little bit. There were different data points in the 2010s, but according to the new FBI data from March, the number of foiled plots surged in 2020, climbed since then, nearly doubling in the years after. So you look at 2020 and you wonder, COVID, people sitting home looking at the internet, was this something that caused these foiled plots to skyrocket? But the point is, we're getting them. We have an FBI we can trust. They are on it. Yesterday is an example of that.
Well, and it gave them time to find each other.
Yeah.
Sitting home on computers all day.
That's right.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.